Hello, people. It's your boy again, Mo Better. Again, as I speak before, and I had a show one point in time called "In Real Life with Mo Better," and I'm in the process of bringing that back. Until then, I'm just speaking, doing little videos about certain things that hit my mind every now and then. And right now, the situation is what's going on in the world today, like all across the United States, throughout the states, we've been seeing these unarmed black men uh, being massacred, slaughtered, actually, almost in the process of back in the days like it was lynching, like done legally, according to them. And this show is really about, this one is about they who do not remember their past. Excuse me. I'll repeat that. Those who do not remember their past are doomed to repeat it. Now, as Lawrence Fishburne said in the movie School Days, wake up. I look and laugh in sarcasm and fear of the upcoming due to the blind eyes and minds of what I think this is all about. As I speak of the following, I state that it is my opinion, although my opinion is based on the past histories that have already taken place. However, and again, this is my philosophy of what may be happening. As I stated in the transgenderization of the black man and woman, history has shown that we as human, those who have hue to their skin, have been the most extraordinary people in existence. Since others have met us and see the effects we have on others, they have desired to be like, partake of our culture, and do whatever it is that we can do, and even to control us. To the conscious mind, when we meet another culture, it means diversity. Learning new things that we can take back to our own culture and expand our abilities as we unite in commodities and commerce. To the satanically inclined, which promotes greed, jealousies, and envies, this means we must take and or control what they have, even destroy it. Due to our loving nature, we allow people in, and due to our intrinsic natures to love all the Most High has established and allowed to exist, we are cautious as serpents, but innocent as doves. Come on in. We're real trusting. Ladies and men to China, Kemet, Kibulan, Japan, the shores of Africa, and as they shook our hands and took what they traded with us, they stole what they could along the way back until they found a way to come back without asking, with extreme power and destruction. Not just to take the things we traded with them, not just the prisoners of war, nor our dejected for crime and treason, but our kings and queens as well, heirs to the thrones, establishing the demise of entire genealogical lines. But don't forget, we allowed it. We allowed a lot of this. Trusting and believing without questioning nor studying. Examinations of what you are allowing and going on in your life is always needed. Examination, a detailed expectation or investigation, an examination of marketing behavior, things of that nature. We'll deal with a couple of synonyms: scrutiny, inspection, parasol, study, investigation, consideration, analysis, appraisal, evaluation. The Chinese examined and found out. So did the Japanese, the Russians, Britain, and Haiti. Remember that? Look at the histories. They did scrutiny. They did inspections, studies, investigations, considerations, all those definitions along with their synonyms. They did. What happened to us? We got into slavery over here in what is called the land of the free and the home of the brave. But let me remind you of how important and valuable we were, even as slaves. They knew our bloodlines and pedigrees, our importance in the divine plan of existence. You hear me? The divine plan of existence. They knew our abilities and probabilities. And when you think of slavery, what do you think of in sight? Dirty, chains, nappy heads, filthy and ragged clothing, worthless. That's what they wanted us to see one another as. That's what they wanted us to see ourselves as. And we stood on platforms not understanding the language being spoken as we were auctioned off from several hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars. Did you catch that? This is back then, so I really want you to look at the times. We were being auctioned off at several hundreds to tens of thousands of dollars back then, even as a dirty slave with ragged clothes on. You're probably thinking, ain't no price for slavery, and I agree with you. Do you understand it, though? I understand what you say. I agree with what you're saying, but what I want you to reflect upon is our import and value even back then. Think of the times again, and think of the prices we were sold for. Who had 500 to tens of thousands of dollars back then? Is the import of value coming back to you now? Not just anybody could own you right out back then. We were even as slaves sold for more than most of their homes and land costs back then. Is it coming back to you now? Not another culture that were ever slaves, were ever sold at the high prices that we were. Even in our worst predicaments, the Most High allows those of us who strive to remain conscious to have truth in order to see the truth of a thing or situation as opposed to the perception of it. You see, perception is reality because perception only has to be real to the one who is perceiving it. Discernment opens the third or mind's eye to truth. Some of us didn't stand for the perception that was being given to us and knew our value, so we ran, swam, and did anything else we could as the brave striving to get to the land of the free. We had some Nat Turners, some Harriet Tubmans, and some Amistads who knew their value and would never accept the perception they were told they had to accept. I'm not telling anyone to go and create an uprising, nor to physically, nor with weapons, revolt. What I am saying is mentally, psychologically, intellectually, and spiritually revolt by educating yourselves, ourselves, and in doing so, reobtaining and for the first time begin to obtain your true value and therefore begin to reject what we are being perceived by human beings. Hood, nigger, not having the abilities to grow, inmate, modern day slave. There are always times through history when the humans get so strong that the jealous, envious, and outright greedy seek to destroy us again and again. When slavery was allowed and forced to be abolished by the Most High, the demonically influenced saw another way to separate just as he did in heaven. And I don't care what holy book you go to, the situation is still there. If you want to go to the Quran, it was a situation of, what is it called? Respite. In the Bible, I don't like them, period. So it's the same thing. And it derived from what? Envy and jealousy. Down here on this earth, it marches again as it did after slavery. There's a difference between the three. See, jealousy can cause a mere dislike, and the continuous thought of that negativity can establish and create envy, which is desired to obtain what another may have, monetarily, materially, or even physically, by any means necessary, including the loss of another's life, through and based on greed. Thinking about that? When we were released from slavery, it kicked in again. They didn't want us around them. Go eat over here, or eat in a place just for you all. Those of us who used that third or mind's eye and discernment from the Most High were cool with that. Guess what the conscious did? Educated themselves on what was wanted and what was needed and how to go about applying what they learned. Guess what was manufactured? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma began to be called Black Wall Street. Humans began to travel from all over this America to get there because we learned our value as they segregated us. We didn't have to go to their movies. We didn't have to go to their stores. We didn't have to go to their dentists, their doctors, construction companies, or nowhere else because we created our own. There was only one airport and there was only one airport in Oklahoma at the time. And 6 of the private planes were human owned. Because we showed our strength again, another way was formed and established to show our weakness. A way was created to destroy our towns, just as they did our villages before then. Still, the strongest beings on the planet, we came up with some more Frederick Douglasses and Harriet Tubmans like Rosa Parks, Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X, who stood up for their rights, not the laws. Please understand that there is a difference. And in each case, aside from Rosa Parks and due to the super protected Elijah Muhammad, each of the other strong humans were executed. A way and plan was found to tear down our strength and strong, just as they did Huey Newton. We don't grow poppy plants, but we were given and are able of all the people to obtain the finished product of opium and heroin. Plan to destroy? What do you think? Now, they will outright kill humans, as they always have. But if you notice, they become subtle at times. They allow us to get to certain marks in life. But as in most cases, with our kind hearts, we fall subject to credulity. Because we get to degrees that they are in, we begin to believe that they really like us as a totality. And in most cases, we begin to believe that it's over. More black millionaires were made during the Reagan, Bush, Clinton era than any other time since Black Wall Street of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma was burned down. So a plan was made to get at us humans again. And because we don't keep strong hold of the value of ourselves, we fall and fail prey to that plan to destroy our strength again. See, that's what happened when crack came out during this time. We began to take the value and pricelessness of self and apply it to things that could and did destroy our strength again. See, they could be caught with tankers of cocaine and never be heard of again because the case was dismissed with prejudice, as they were part of the plan. But if we got caught with any, even the devalued form that they know came from them, it was 1 year or more for us in prison, or less than a gram in the rock form. See, they knew we used that. And they knew we were being let go for getting caught with airplanes and tankers. They were getting caught with submarines and things of that nature. Man, we don't know how to let them go, not even probation. See, the situation was most of them were part of the plan. When you get the plan, I want you to understand is a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. Synonyms: procedure, scheme, strategy, proposal, proposition, suggestion. See, after realizing what we would do for this thing and the money that it brought, when they realized what we would do for it, they snuck in as a plan, another form of slavery. Excuse me. Their plan was prison and harsher prison sentences for humans than for anyone else, any other culture on the planet. There's a book out I want you to get. It's called what is it called today? It's Willie Lynch. What is it? I can't remember the name of it right now. When it comes back up, I'll give it to you. And again, what I was saying that we had more time for prison for doing any form of crime than any other culture. And although they would steal, kill a human, their plan and or scheme worked, we began to kill ourselves, taking the dope, using the dope, killing each other for drug blocks and things of that nature. Guess what? The KKK and lynching was no longer needed. They could watch us on every channel of the news as if our real-life neighborhoods were turned to hoods and were action and thriller movies. Belly was real. New Jack City was real. On the news. See, aside from that, when it was another era's turn to teach in the 80s and 90s, it's like my era, the strength of our younger humans, we allowed ourselves from not looking through and while the third or mind's eye to discern the plan. Let's look at discernment. The ability to see and understand people, things, or situations clearly and intelligently, and mainly from a spiritual perspective. The quality of being able to grasp and comprehend what is obscure. To see the scheme that there was a mass migration of humans going to a second form of slavery, called prison, as the scheme and strategy to destroy the strength of the humans again. But remember how I told you it differed every now and then. This time it wasn't just the human man. It was the entire human family. Again, by taking away the Huey Newtons and Malcolm X's, the Tupacs, Biggie Smalls, the KRS's, Chuck D's, and Wu-Tangs, those cats who could make people listen. So guess what they did? Took the two they could, how they could, and although the others were still speaking, they began to take away those who could listen, allowing us to fall, and we allowed ourselves to fall victim to this prison, this second form of slavery again. See, we could still hear them, but now we were in prison with the limited ability to apply what we did here. You see, that left 10, 15, 20, and more years of the older human beings, my age at that time. I also implement myself in this issue. See, we were incarcerated all this time, leaving the younger humans, those of color, to think about, imagine, and create whatever rules they wanted to in the game. Can you see that in each demonstration and plan, strategy, and scheme that the strong, those who could think intelligently, plan and scheme as they were doing, but for our good, was whisked away? Those who would say and perform, not me, dude, were also whisked away for whatever reason they could think of, or they were bodied. So now, we have this younger generation of humans who had no one to really teach them the rules, like never turn a robbery into a homicide, never hit a person who has nothing to do with the demonstration you are putting down. That's hit. They ain't had nothing. They don't have nothing to do. They want no drive-bys and all that kind of stuff. Never disrespect and always protect and do for your elders. Never sell any drugs from where you live. Our sisters is never a female dog nor a garden tool. Always educate yourself, because even if you do get in the game at that time when I was coming up, I mean, I don't condone it, but what I'm saying is when you was in back then, it was a means to an end. It was never considered to be a lifestyle. Look at everybody who tried to make it a lifestyle. That's what they got somewhere for you. What you're getting into is what we had to do. We had to know what we were getting into before we got into it. And we had to be ready to accept whatever the consequences were to it. But because you didn't have anyone to teach you these things and more of the rules, you became what you were and are today. Reckless. Robbing and killing, any and everything, disrespecting your elders, know it all about nothings, turning your every community into a hood, believing that human means to remain in the projects and to even fight to be in the second slavery, as we drive our sisters to be less than the female dog. My era strove to never call her and to value herself as less than that garden tool it is so easy to call her today. In this bunch of senseless murders and self-degradation, guess what? I think all this cop killing, unarmed and innocent humans is about. Because our young kill so easily now and for nothing. Have you seen how tanks and task force trucks have been shipped into many cities as of late? Going down the freeway and here's a semi-truck full of tanks on the back, full of SWAT team vehicles and things of that nature. Have you seen that? We hear about it, but see, we bypass it. We don't really even say nothing about it. See, we bypass and get past it. Excuse me again. We bypass these things because they aren't advertised. Not advertised. But guess what is advertised every day? An unarmed human dying by one who is supposed to protect that same human. Some of us get in some dumb situations to do some crazy stuff. Now, I don't condone the killing of the dude that robbed the store with the 2 pop cans, but after he put them down, he screaming, "Kill me, I got a knife," and they tell him to chill. I don't condone the murder. It could have been mace, it could have been pepper spray. They had to kill him, they killed him. I don't condone that, but you don't put yourself in ridiculous, stupid situations like that. But I'm going to ask again, why is this advertised? I'm going to tell you the important psychology of advertisement. I'm going to give you an example. Think of a song you don't like, or an artist you don't like. You get it in your head? You got it? Now, what song is it? Can you name the song? Do you know any? Just say a couple of words of it. The hook or something like that. I bet you do know. Guess why? Because advertisement plays on the psychology. See, they keep it in your mind on the radio, on TV, and everywhere else. They advertise it to you. See, advertisement provokes the senses and can cause one to act. As Bashir, I got a cat named Bashir Jones. As Bashir Jones said. And as we all know, death has been in our areas forever. It's nothing new to us. So why is it being advertised right now? Causing us humans to act by way of provocation. Because in my mind, it is a plan, scheme, and strategy, as it has always been, when they feel the need to see where we are and what we are capable of. You see, most of our strong thinkers and movers in a positive direction are mostly gone or inactive. So they want to see how strong these young senseless killers are, and to see how soft and passive us humans have become. Remember, people, talking about military tanks, trucks, and things of that nature rolling through hoods. Oh, they ready. Due to what our young give them on TV to see if there are any of our really strong to action of revolt are left, or how stupidly strong our predominantly uneducated youth are with these guns. What y'all gonna do? See, they ready for that. They also trying to see in my mind, in their plan, if their plan, scheme, and strategy to finally become a docile people has come to the fruition with us humans. I think they are just trying to see what they can do and what they cannot do. I'm by no means trying to provoke an uprising aside from studying to open your third or mind's eye so we can discern the obscure, mainly from the spiritual perspective, so we can stop repeating our past.